Good morning, Hank. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's also the 102nd anniversary of the publication of Albert Einstein's famous paper, Does the Inertia of a Body Depend Upon Its Energy Content? Of course, the answer to that question was, heck yes it does. Hank, someday I'd like to write an analogous paper with a similar conclusion called, Does the Awesomeness of a Body Depend Upon Its Nerd Content? I would use this paper to prove through the magic of physics that the accumulation of knowledge increases the overall worldwide level of awesome. Except for when you're accumulating knowledge about Britney Spears, that actually cuts awesome levels. In a related story, boy am I a nerd! Hank, speaking of nerdiness, it occurs to me that over the course of this year-long project, I've talked a lot about what a nerd I am and what a nerd fighter I am and how awesome it is to be a nerd and everything, and yet that whole time I've had glasses that aren't very nerdy. I mean, I understand that glasses are inherently nerdy, but what I'm saying is that my glasses aren't particularly nerdy. Problem solved! These are so nerdy. I like them. So Hank, as you hinted at in your video yesterday, our family has a long and storied tradition of always saying what we're grateful for when we gather around the Thanksgiving table. Now obviously we're not all going to be together this year for Thanksgiving because you're in snowy Missoula and I'm in weirdly warm Indianapolis. Nonetheless, I'd like to share some of what I'm grateful for. First, I'm thankful to you for the amazing year that we've had getting to know each other as grown-up siblings. Now, I realize that there's something a little bit ironic about calling you and myself a grown-up when we spent a lot of the year putting stuff on our heads and singing about Harry Potter, but still. I'm thankful that it's snowing in Missoula, Montana right now, because with all this warm weather in Indianapolis, I was beginning to believe that maybe it would never snow anywhere at any time for the rest of human history. Also this year, I'm particularly thankful to YouTube for giving the world a free and easy way for Luddites like me to communicate visually. I'm thankful that I get to write the books I want to write when I want to write them for the people I want to write them for. I'm thankful that I have 2 functioning eyes, 3 Nerdfighter t-shirts, and 1 beautiful Yeti. I'm thankful that you're such a good songwriter. And finally, Hank, I'm thankful for the Nerdfighters. I mean, their collective awesome really has changed our lives. I'm so much more optimistic than I used to be, Hank, because I've seen so many of the good things that can happen when people come together. I find myself thinking that Faulkner was right when he declined to accept the end of man, saying, "It is easy enough to say that man is immortal because he will endure, that when the last ding-dong of doom has clanged and faded from the last worthless rock hanging tideless in the last red and dying evening, that even then there will still be one more sound, that of his puny, inexhaustible voice, still talking. I refuse to accept this. I believe that man will not merely endure, he will prevail. He is immortal not because he alone among creatures has an inexhaustible voice, but because he has a soul, a spirit capable of compassion and sacrifice and endurance." Oh, also I'm thankful for Faulkner. That guy knew his way around a sentence. There's something pretty amazing about being able to believe that, Hank, and that's a gift that Nerdfighters have given me. So thanks. Hank, Nerdfighters, what are you grateful for? Nerdfighters, your internet-only scavenger hunt clue for the day is the last word of Looking for Alaska.